Good evening again, everybody. Hope your Monday was somewhat decent. I know it's Monday, but hey, it's about to get a lot better here because we have got ourselves a pretty awesome matchup about to start up here, guys. So there's that BOILeR hype, just the way I like to see it, and it's well-fitting here, like I said. Left-hand side, we got one of last year's finalists, Mr. Wolv21, coming in at 8 wins and 4 losses on the season. He really needs a win to hang on to the playoff spot that he's got right now at the 6th seed in the NFC. He is facing tonight your AFC West champion already, so guaranteed in the playoffs. Top 4 in the AFC, Mr. Vendryth, your San Diego representative, and he's coming in with 9 wins and 3 losses on the season. So a really, really good head-to-head matchup about to begin here. Anybody that's new, we do a best 2 out of 3 race using Isaac in the same save file, which is Platinum God, meaning every item's unlocked on it. Excuse me. We're going to race a best 2 out of 3 through the Womb 2. Whoever kills off Mom's Heart first will get a point added at the bottom of the screen. You see zeros right now. Again, as soon as somebody kills Mom's Heart, they get a point. We reset both racers and start from scratch all over again. There's 7 banned items on the way down nobody's allowed to take, which, if I could type, I would have a list for you. I'm terrible at this. It ate my chat. There it goes. You cannot take Dr. Fetus, Epic Fetus, Ipecac, Dead Sea Scrolls, Holy Bible, Shovel. Toothpicks are kind of just on there to be rerolled because, again, all 7 of those items are the only ones that you can use your D6 against. Otherwise, that's pretty much useless too. But again, toothpicks are on there. You can take those or reroll them if you want. That's the reason they're there. They're kind of crappy. We'll explain why on every item should we see them. Again, racers know all the rules. They're off and running. So again, best of luck, guys. We'll get the link into both of their channels. There it is. Thank you, Muted. And again, they're off and running. We'll picking up the unicorn horn. So somewhere Mosk is smiling right now. Again, that is a very handy, no pun intended, little item there that's going to put a unicorn horn on his head, give him 7 seconds of invincibility, and also allow him to do damage with that by running into enemies. And again, Ben wasn't too happy with his start, so he reset his, and again, this is allowed on in BOILeR. You can, basically, it counts as a death one way or the other if you want to think about it. You could just walk into the next room and die. So he's going to keep looking for a good starting item here and hope that he gets something similar to what Wolf's got. Maybe a little bit of damage up would help. And again, Wolf going to keep on just looking for his first boss fight to extend his lead here. And speaking of boss fights, Vend on the right side has got his item room and boss fight connected. Wolf now coming across his. And speaking of those toothpicks, let's see those no TPs. Again, what those toothpicks do is they give you a little bit of shot speed increase. That's it. Really not that useful of a thing, and you can cap out that stat very, very quickly in this game. So Vendryth re-rolled it, and knowing that Wolf was moving on, is going to take that halo of flies, so he's got 2 orbitals blocking shots for him now. Not usually the way most of our racers start, but as you can see with that Duke of Flies ripped on through, a little bit of health up, and he'll be the first on down to basement 2. Now on the left-hand side, Wolf just finished him off, but we had Champion Famine. You see all the oh-so-popular... because that's what he says to us, so it's the least we can do is greet him back. It's only fair. But again, both on down to their basement 2s, both getting cellar expansion versions of the floor. And again, you're probably going to see a lot more spiders, exactly like what you see on Vendryth's side. That green one, by the way, a champion mob, would hit him for a full heart of damage, guaranteed to drop an item as it dies, though. Such as that penny right there. So another one from the room, then keeps moving on to find his boss fight. Excuse me again. Alright, so, excuse me, on the left-hand side, we got Wolf looking at his new item room. Let's see what he gets here. That red patch, we'll get to in 1 second. Ugh, Roid Rage, mismarked item, actually nothing but speed up on that. And you notice Wolf is running at this point by comparison to what he just was doing. There's a lot of speed up. I'm not a big fan of that. I am a fan of that PhD that Vendryth just found on the right side, though. That's going to give him nothing but good or neutral pill effects. It's also going to reveal what the usage of those pills are after he walks around for maybe about a second or 2 with each of them. So again, lots of good pills. Should any of those spawn on Vendryth's side, actually makes Mom's Pill Bottle a very, very good item. And again, Wolv on into his boss fight like we were talking about. That Curse of Darkness, by the way, that he had at the beginning of the floor is why you can't see his minimap whatsoever. A little bit of health up as he rips through double Gertie Juniors. Ooh, that devil deal, and yep, gotta be done. Drops you down 2 red hearts, gives you back 1 in the form of a soul heart, excuse me. And with that mark, Wolv is going to give himself a little bit of damage increase, on his tiers. And again, moving on down into his caves, got himself an XL floor. That Curse of the Labyrinth is going to give him 2 caves floors combined together into 1. So 2 item rooms, 2 back-to-back boss fights to find. Now, there's still just 1 store, 1 secret, and 1 super secret room. So don't think that it's like a complete doubling up. You can still only get 1 god room or 1 devil deal out of these 2 floors. So it does kind of possibly screw you over in that aspect. But at the same point, it could save you a lot of time, too. Johnny, what's up, man? What's up, Cerno? How you two doing? Oh, excuse me. All I know is my Bears won yesterday, and I'm a very happy football fan. That's all it takes for me. By the way, Wolv also got himself, and I totally neglected to mention it, off of the famine fight that he had. Got himself that cube of meat orbiting around him. That'll actually do 7 damage to anything it touches. Also will block any shots that happen across it. And again, the more and more of those you get, the more and more it turns into a full-on meat boy. We'll get to that as we see it. Ooh, Vendryth with these terrible item rooms. I can't believe he went with this run nonetheless. But Holy Water in his item room, he's going to pass on it because that is kind of an odd, we'll call it follower. It would actually mess with your followers. Let's say that Vendryth were to pick up Little Gish, but also add Holy Water with him. Until such time as you get hit and Holy Water spills, any of your, like, whatever your first follower is, I should say, would turn into Brother Bobby. So in his case, if he had, you know, Little Gish following him, pick up Holy Water, walk into the next room, Little Gish is now Brother Bobby. If you get hit, though, and Holy Water spills, it's basically Lemon Mishap, but a follower behind you. And if that spills, all of a sudden Brother Bobby turns right back into whatever he should be. So it's really odd. It's kind of something you have to worry about, and that's why Vendryth passed on it, for anybody curious. Maybe 0? Maybe. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Alright, so we're moving on into the second boss fight here. Like I said, back-to-back on this floor. He's not seen the item rooms yet, and with only the 2 hearts, I'm wondering if he's going to go find him. He does have enough keys, but those could be anywhere on this floor. And ooh, down to half a heart now on Wolv's side. Oh, that was evil. His bomb shot the eyeball into him. Oh, that's an evil way to take a death there on Wolv's side. So back down to the beginning. If you guys noticed, he had dropped a bomb waiting for Peep to jump and land down at the bottom next to it. One of Peep's eyeballs happened to be right next to the bomb when it exploded, shot it directly into him. That's a painful death. Yeah, that was just a troll by the game right there. Nothing you can do. The guy just like, oh, hey, we're going to go right by this cool-looking bomb as it explodes, and right into him. He gets some of the trolliness moments, I swear. So again, Vendryth now on his caves too. It says Catacombs. Again, that is the expansion version of the floor, so slightly tougher enemies. We were talking about Gish. Look who's there, he's fighting. On that note, Wolv picks up to start off his new run, the Sad Onion. You notice he now has 2 tiers up in that arrow thing, so he's got a lot more fire rate is what that's indicating for you. Ooh, and that secret room with so much money. He waited on the dime, I think, for a second or 2 there. That dime chime, so beautiful. Ooh, and even more money out of the fire. This is why sometimes it's worthwhile to put fires out. Wolv at 23 cents already on this first floor. No bomb, though, so he can't do the 1-hit kill on pin. That's Sad Onion and Dime Chime. We've had a pretty good floor for Wolv. That's okay. How you doing, man? Death by 1,000 peepers. That does not sound fun in any way, shape, or form. Hey, we saw money equals power last night. It could totally happen again. Alright, as you notice, those darker orange fires you have to be very careful of. They will fire at you. Oh, 3 bad trip pills. So 1 will get taken with Wolv. I don't know that he's going to touch that other one now. Indeed, he won't. That bad trip pill is actually going to be useful. If Wolv gets down to just 1 red heart remaining, that becomes a full health pill. You cannot die on pills as Isaac. So remember that, like any of those bad things, let's say you get down to 1 red heart container and you have a health down pill. Suddenly that's a health up pill for you. How's up, Mobo? How you doing? Yeah, speaking of full health. Yoink! Alright, with that key, let's see what's in Wolv's second item room. Mom's Pad, pretty decent way to replace that D6. It'll, I don't want to say freeze enemies, but it will push them away from you for a couple seconds while keeping them kind of frozen so they don't actually get to act. But it does magnetize them against you, so they're pushed away. Health up go. I like this. We're going to work with this one. Ooh, Chitara, I know what I'm making later now. Alright, into his store, might as well take it. That Steam sale for Wolv is going to give him half off of any item that he sees from here on out in stores, and you notice the 7-cent items became 3 cents. It can't really charge you 3.5, so it either rounds down or rounds up, in that case, down to 3 cents. But basically grabbed everything in that store. And he'll be back for that bad trip, aka full health pill. Vendryth into his... Oh, jeez, these banned items on Vendryth's side. Number 2 to... Number 3, let's see, no Ipecac, which just rerolled, no IP, which rerolled into the Dead Sea Scrolls. So let's see both no IP and no Scrolls, guys. Wow. Then gonna hope for another charge on that D6 for the item room, but that was evil. That was straight up evil right there. Ipecac, the first item he saw, was banned because it gives you fireball poison bombs. Infinite amount of them, by the way. Rerolled into Dead Sea Scrolls, which could give you a random space use every time you use it, which includes the Holy Bible, one of our banned items, and the Shovel. Shovel would give you a way down to the next floor. Holy Bible could, if you used it at the right time, one-hit kill Mom's Foot and Mom's Heart. So we banned it just because of those reasons. Last year it got really funky with us, so we banned it. It's also going to glitch out from time to time, give you a wiggle worm effect that does nothing. So we just figured that's easier. A little bit of speed up as Wolv takes out Monstro to finish off his basement floors, and he's onto the caves, so he's now basically, we'll say, 2 full floors behind Vendryth, who has just found his boss fight to finish off said caves. And again, with just this one more room to clear, Vend will actually get that charge back on his D6, so he may head to the other side of the floor again. He knows he's got that bit of a time advantage, but he may want that item, and I'm gonna guess he'll go for it. Yes, he will. So back on over with that D6 charge. Let's hope that that doesn't turn into his 4th banned item of the day, because that is getting kind of ridiculous. Again, we'll find in a curse room here that may be worthwhile. We'll see if he chooses to go in or not. First things first, though. What you got, Vend? Monstro's Tooth. At least it's not nothing. That will actually summon Monstro down to land on enemies and damage them. So hopefully they're stationary long enough for that to land. But again, better than nothing. D6, please. Alright, so Wolv fighting off Lust. All you gotta do is stay far enough away, and he's got plenty of speed to do so. And again, Vend will move on into that Caves 2 boss fight. Plenty of attack flies as well. That may not come in so handy here. Well, they did actually hit the right spot. Lo and behold, you can only hit Carrion Queen in that one off-colored spot, and thankfully, so did Monstro. Very nice shot right there. So that's going to make this boss fight a heck of a lot faster. Again, that's a risk you take with Monstro, though. Sometimes he's gonna miss what you're aiming at. Wire Coat Hanger for Vendryth. A little bit of fire rate increase again, and he'll be on down to the depths. And again, Necropolis, yet another expansion version of a floor. Ooh, Wolv into those half-price stores. Gonna take Mom's Purse. Double trinket spots for him now. Hangman will allow him to fly whatever room he uses that card in. 1 key, 1 soul heart. Doesn't need the red heart. And he'll leave behind that Hangman in favor of the full health pill that's bound to be. I was going to say, Vend with only 2 bombs has got kind of a decision to make in that room. Do you just bomb out? Being a dead end, that wasn't really worthwhile of spending time in that room. And again, that would have taken a lot of time. So yes, worth that 1 bomb. Do many bombs right on out. Wolv's got himself his item room and boss fight, excuse me, for Caves 1. How about more speed? The speed ball gives him movement speed, and his shots will travel faster as well on screen. And into his boss fight, another, we'll call it somewhat useful item coming out of this. He's fighting Chad. That'll spawn little Chad for him. You'll notice as you do more damage, Chad's going to shrink in size until it becomes that item at the end. Yeah, you have to play as Isaac and BOILeR. That way you got the D6 with you. Until the playoffs. Come playoff time, for those that don't know. Which is only 3 weeks left in the regular season. So we got 1 night left here in week 14. And then we got 3 more weeks left of regular season. So in about a month, basically, when playoffs start, whoever has the home field advantage, aka the better record, basically going into the matchup, gets to choose what character they use, and also gets to add in some sort of rule. So like, let's say they want to say, all right, you can pick up any item you want to, no banned items. They have to run that by me. If I allow it, then basically their opponent doesn't find out any of this information until race time that night. So they won't know what character they're racing as or what rules they're playing by until they start. So there's a little bit of deceiving going on there, if you will. It's going to be kind of fun this year. And again, Vendryth not having so much fun, just took a death there in the depths. So ouch, all the way back to start for him now, and Wolv back in the lead on Caves 2. And again, with a lot of movement speed, we'll see. I don't know, it's right on the borderline of where I can handle. That might almost be too fast for me. I know he could deal with that speed, don't misunderstand me, but I know it's not a popular thing to cap your speed out in a run. Oh, dude, you think you get the enemies mixed up? Welcome to my world, Dragon. Like, don't even feel bad. I do it all the time where I'm just like, oh, that's Gertie. Like, no, dude, that's Monstro. What'd I say? Gertie. Oops. Like, it happens all the time. There's so many enemies and so many items in this game that if anybody were to be able to remember them, it's Edmund and Florian, and that's probably it. Like I keep pointing out, guys, you may make jokes about it. I'm like, oh, how much fun I bet Cobalt's gonna make the rolls. What happens in Cobalt and Slack meetup, guys? Look at their records. Yeah, oh, they're the same. Yeah. Just putting that thought, food in your brain right there, guys. Because, you might want to notice that Slack's also beating Cobalt head to head. I just blew your mind. Yeah, exactly. Time. What's up, dude? Yeah, Cobalt's got the tiebreaker right now, though. It's going to be based off of if they do meet up in the finals and they both happen to have the exact same record, or they're both, let's say they get in undefeated, basically. Let's say they're both undefeated, they get into the finals, and they face off head-to-head. Cobalt does have the tiebreaker right now because it's going to be based off of, like, in the matches right here, we do best of 3. So you can win 2-0 or 2-1. However many losses within those matches they have is what's going to determine who's got the tiebreaker, and right now Cobalt's ahead by a pretty good margin, so it's still a pretty safe bet. Cobalt's probably got that home field advantage almost all the way through the playoffs, but we won't be able to know until week 17. Actually, maybe a little bit before that. I'm going to have to do math tonight, and I'll let you know next week, but we'll know exactly when, too. Oh, there we go, Lucky Foot. So Sacrificial Dagger, now Lucky Foot on Vendryth's side. He's also got Jesus Juice, so let me go through all these. Sacrificial Dagger floating around him does 17 damage to anything that it comes in contact with. Really, really handy. Again, does not block shots for you, though. So don't think that, like, oh, cool, I got a shot coming at me. This knife will block it. No, it doesn't. It'll damage anything it hits, though. Again, he's also got Jesus Juice, which is mismarked, does give you damage increase and range increase, I believe it was. Excuse me, and then just picked up Lucky Foot, which again is going to give you nothing but good or neutral pills. Won't tell you what they are, though. The other good news is if he were to gamble, let's say finds one of those purple slot machines, that's going to be very handy because he can't actually lose on them. Yeah, and what do you know? We're in Caves 2. What did we find in the store, guys? Greed. I don't blame Wolv on this one. He's got the Steam sale. He's got plenty of money. I do not fault him for going in here. This was to be expected. Wolv is going to try to spend that money and grab as many good items as he can. So that was a very smart move on his part, even though he found Super Greed in there. But still worth it, like I said. How about 2 more would-be full health pills sitting in that curse room? Interesting. So Wolv will go grab his half heart, and he's going to keep looking for his item room here before he goes through on down to his depths, would be my guess. And indeed he will. Yeah, Halo of Flies block shots, correct. And now you get to see what Pinky Eye just did. It actually applied poison and just did it again there on Larry Jr. on Vendryth's side. So it's a random chance, and it's relatively low, but it does fire off pretty darn consistently, honestly. And the more fire rate you have, the more fire, or the more times the Pinky Eye is going to fire for you. And damage, not really that great on poison, but hey, it's extra damage. You can't really go wrong. And there's a little bit more health up. It is mismarked. Does give you a little bit of shot speed as well with that, with the health up on stem cells. And Vendryth going to move on down to his caves. So making pretty good time here. Wolv's still looking for this item room on caves 2. Again, it has already killed off his boss, though, so he just needs to find this item room and head on down to the depths. Speaking of, there we go. I think we're about 50-50 on who uses controller and who uses keyboards. I know quite a few of our racers that I can name, like Full Metal Gambit uses a controller. Drizzle, for example, uses a Super Nintendo controller, and I'm being serious. Let's see what else. I know there's quite a few others that do, and yet I know quite a few like myself that can only use the key. For example, we also have Tornus, who fires with his mouse. Note I didn't say mouth this time, I said mouse. On that note, the carry is on for Wolv as he just found the poop, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Rainbow me because Vendryth just picked up Rainbow Baby, which is going to fire out random follower tiers from behind him, so a nice little DPS increase. DPS meaning damage per second, by the way. Yeah, the poop carry, it's on! If one dies, you just start back from scratch again. And like I said, Wolv had already taken out his boss fight here, so moving on down to the depths. Curse of the Lost will add a couple extra rooms onto his floor, and you're going to see it now, because with that treasure map, look at his mini-map. You get to see the entire floor layout from here on out. So again, very useful find at that very early Steam sale for him. Well worth the money, and it's been paying off now in the form of that treasure map for Wolv. So he's going to make very educated guesses as to where his special rooms are. And it looks like he's heading on over towards that Seeker room. So we'll see what else is in this area. Look at that. How about your item room on the way? Very good educated guess, as I said. What's up, Carl? How you doing? Followers have never been banned. We've had the same banned items all season, guys. Ah, there we go. Okay, I didn't know that was one of the challenges during the charity marathon for somebody else. That makes sense. That was probably for Vendryth at the time. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Gotcha, gotcha. So now I see where you watched last time. That makes sense. So last week, basically, while half of our racers, give or take, were at PAX, we did a charity marathon here, and we raised a bunch of money. At this point, $13,710. Good God. And it's still open, by the way, for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And again, that is just a ridiculous amount of money. Thank you, guys and gals, everybody that took part in that and that helped out. Seriously, that is an amazing amount of support for them, and thank you so much. But yeah, that was one of the challenges that went on for Vendryth during the time while he was casting, if I'm not mistaken, was that he couldn't take any followers. So that's where your confusion came from. Now I get it. Ooh, what's my personal favorite band item? I'd have to go with Epic Fetus. It's far too I love Dr. Fetus, but Epic Fetus is too much fun. That is way too overpowered, so I'd have to go with Epic Fetus on that. Again, I'm actually kind of surprised that's not where Wolv's boss fight was. Watch it be down here at the bottom, though. I like this choice by him. A little bit of range up for Vendryth with Bomb's Underwear. Really not what you want in your item rooms, especially in the caves, too. But again, he's just looking for a boss fight now, and he could be to the same floor that Wolv is on. And speaking of that, there's Wolv's boss fight, so he's looking to extend his lead again, move on to Depths 2 quickly. Ooh, can Larry Jr. just stay stuck in there? Look at this, he's going to. Oh, he moved out. No, he was stuck on his own poop for a second. See, the poop is overpowered, guys. It keeps enemies locked in place for about 2 seconds. It's really not overpowered. I can't be that much of a smartass, I'm sorry. Anyways, a couple of attack flies there for Vendryth out of his curse room. And we got Mr. Cool, Loki, over on the left side for Wolv to take care of. So if you guys are subscribed to Cobalt, let's see those Mr. Cools. It's the poop again. See, I'm telling you, the poop carry is on. As soon as Wolv got that in his item room, I told you it was on. A nice use of that sacrificial dagger here by Vendryth. He's trying to make these turrets open up and line it up with the timing. Ooh, just missed it that time, though. There we go. And again, against this champion mob, I was going to say he's going to have to really worry about getting out of the way because that'll do a full heart of damage on this turret. And Mr. Cool just about dead. There we go. A little bit more health up for Wolv, and he'll be on down to Depths 2. Vendryth into his Caves 2 boss fight. He's going to fight Gertie. So again, she'll be stationary. You can count, and again, this is all thanks to Cobalt that I know this one. Do basically 1, 2, 3 move, and you'll probably be able to hear Vendryth actually counting this out if you're in his stream, which reminds me to give you guys a link into Wolv and Vendryth's streams. Ooh, moved a little too soon on that one, though. But again, gets you on the other side of those quad shots. If not, she's going to spawn. If she doesn't do the quad shot, she'll spawn on that count every time. So it's still a safe bet to move. A little bit of health up, and that is actually damage up, not tears up on me. It's very slight, but that is damage up. So then moving on down to Depths 1, and he's going to keep moving on along, looking for item room and boss fight himself. 1 floor behind Wolv right now. And again, speaking of item rooms, he's making this relatively quick. There it is. Also a curse room, which technically he can't really worry about getting into and out of at the moment. He could, but I wouldn't risk the health, and I doubt he will. Speaking of risking the health, Blood Rights. Alright, Vendryth will take it with him, because again, at this point, D6 probably not going to come in handy whatsoever. Blood Rights would damage you to injure everything in the room for a considerable amount as well, but you have to be very careful and have a lot of health with that item. Vendryth, should he find a full health or any way to heal up fully, could make a lot of use of that, so we'll see if that comes in handy or not. And sorry for the chair noise every now and then. This thing is plasticky and broken, I swear. Hey, what's up, Lucid? And what's up, Pogaz? Hopefully I got that anywhere near correct in pronunciation. Let me know, because I will try to get that right, I swear. But how you guys doing tonight? What's up, Tua? Good to see you as well. Look at all that poison. Wow, this pinky eye is really paying off for Vendryth. Look at this, all these poison shots, and he's finding health up like I was talking about, so maybe that Blood Rights comes in handy later. Diana, how you doing? For next season, here's a good question. Dylan just asked, how do we join up for next season? We're going to do next season on Binding of Isaac Rebirth. For anybody that doesn't know, they basically are remaking the game, not in Flash. Oh, thank God. Yay. Everybody do a happy dance. But again, it's going to come out sometime around the beginning of next year. There's no, from what I know, there's no official release date yet. So we're going to have to base it off of whenever that comes out. We also have to take a little bit of time to max the game out and try to figure out how to break it as well. But we're going to try to get signups somewhere around the first of the year, and we're going to have at least 20 spots open to play into. And anybody that qualifies is going to be in a play-in tournament to try to get into those open spots. So it's going to get kind of crazy next season. You're going to need a lot of practice. And those play-in tournaments are going to be bizarre. I've not figured out how we're going to do it, and it depends on how many people sign up and are qualified to get in. So I don't know if we have to put a cutoff somewhere on the signups or what, but like, it's going to get weird with, like, we may have like 20 tournaments of 64 people. Like, you never know. It could get crazy with how many people are wanting to sign up, so I warn you, it will be nuts, but at the same point, everybody that's qualified, again, which is basically just you can cast on Twitch, you know how to capture Isaac, and it stays in the same spot all the time. It doesn't take much. So again, we'll put all the requirements up on BOILeR.org whenever that happens, but we're looking probably about January for any type of info. So until I know a release date, at least, I'm really not going to have any more info than I just gave you, sadly. And speaking of, Edmund and Florian, look on the right side. That is one of the worst mini-boss fights, by the way. It's really not too terrible if you can stay near the walls and make those purple shots just die off in the walls, as you see Vendryth doing. He's doing a great job at dodging in here, by the way. But again, you really have to watch out if you get in line with the green guy here, that he'll puke on the floor at you. And left hand, very interesting, but gonna get left behind. That pinky eye's been paying off too much for Vendryth. Left hand would give you more chance of red chest spawns throughout the game. And wow, it's like I mentioned colors and they show up again. On the left side, Wolv moves on to his Depths 2 boss. He's going to skip the item room here, and that library for that matter, because he has no keys. But he's into his mom's foot fight, gets red version, which is going to stomp down pretty much endlessly here. Every now and then, one of the doors is going to open up and shoot out a triple shot. But if you stay in the middle of the room, you're pretty well clear of this. You got plenty of time. Let's also, well, that was quick. I was going to ask for a judgy please, but judgy with the compass. So this is interesting. We got the map on one side, compass on the other for Vendryth, and as he goes into this next room, it'll tell you, as you see, where your special rooms on the floor are without laying out the direct path to get to them for you. So you still have to make good guesses, but you can tell where you're headed. Yeah, judgy, thank you? Again, Vendryth building up quite a good little bit of red health here. There's that item room. And again, it was pretty much on the way to his boss fight. He knows he has no other directions to take, so might as well head to the item room here, too. And again, it only says Necropolis for Vendryth. He is in Depths 2 at the moment, keep in mind. Well, just about done with this mom's foot fight. Again, one other thing to keep him, no pun intended, keep an eye out for. I just realized how bad that was as I was saying it. Either way, one thing to watch out for in these mom fights is you almost always want to do the last bit of damage to the foot itself. If the shadow shows up and you do that last bit of damage to one of the doors, she will stomp you and hit you for a full heart of damage. So you have to be very careful about your timing on killing her. And remote detonator for that last item on Vendryth's side gives him 5 extra bombs. He's actually going to keep it with him instead of those blood rights. He'll now be able to choose when his bombs explode. You can set down as many as you want. As soon as you hit the spacebar, they will explode. I know it was a bad joke, and I apologize. I feel bad for it. I realized it as I said it. I mean, keeping an eye out. It's a normal thing to say, and then I realized, God, there's eyeballs on the wall. Like, don't say that. I have moments, guys. I have moments. So it looks like this room and probably 2 more for Vendryth to clear out, and he'll be at his boss fight to try and catch up to Wolv. This is really, really close right now, especially for when those deaths came in. But Ven now full health as well. And again, with more health containers than Wolv's got. Alright, about some moon strats here. Wow, this is a screwy floor. If that boss fight's over on that side. Oh, I don't think it is. He may not go through that way. Oh, I'm damned. He actually went through that way. I'm going to say because Wolv did not bomb into his boss fight right there, well, because it allowed him to bomb into the room and it wasn't his boss fight, it's probably left side of the floor. But we'll see. This next room could be make or break on this. This could be the boss fight over here for Wolv. Yeah, no such luck. So now where to check? It's going to be somewhere on the left, and Wolv only has these 3 bombs left, keep in mind. Yep, pseudo Moonstrats? So this time that backfired. Moonstrat's not paying off for Wolv this evening. So we'll try to the other side, and it's going to be... we'll say it's the bottom one on the far left here. Yeah, there's plenty of female racers. Well, plenty. There's, am I forgetting anybody over 3? We got Diana, we got RTC, and we've got Amy. We had Forksy, but she had to back out. Crap. Was there somebody else? We had Chatia last year. Obviously, she's not in this year. That's where I'm getting my confusion. Okay, that's what was confusing me. So I was thinking that we had somebody else that was Chatia last year. That's what was messing with me. Yeah, it is just the 3 of you. Ooh, and speaking of these boss fights, how about your, I would say internal compass, but it's the external compass really helping out Vendryth here. Again, all you're looking for in the womb are these boss fights, so Wolv hopefully will see his in one more room. Oh no, it's up at the other side. I was wrong, ladies and gents. I'll be the first to admit it. But again, as you can see, Vendryth going to drop down some bombs here and wait for Skullx to go near it. Just about done with this, though. There's Wolv's Womb 1 boss fight. And again, that in the corner on Vendryth's side is a glitch that will not actually hurt you in any way, shape, or form, but it's a wonderful glitch with Skull X that I love, because you can move that around the room. That explosion will stay there and move around the room most times. Alright, a little bit of health up again for Vendryth. Still full health, 8 containers now, and he's on down to the womb too, so time advantage on his side. Ooh, that Curse of Darkness hurts though. I was about to say he's got his compass, so we'll see where his boss fight is, but now we won't. Curse of Darkness overwrites your compass and your map, so Vend is blind on this floor now. So now advantage for Wolv, as that is going to really hurt Vendryth's time. And again, speaking of Wolv, fighting against death right now, so that will be his first cube of meat, believe it or not. Assuming death gets out of the wall. There you go. So that'll be his first cube of meat orbiting around. Again, that's the same thing that we saw on, I believe it was Vendryth earlier. Would do damage, 7 damage to anything he comes in contact with, and still block shots. Now the fun part of this fight. As soon as you get him to 50%, he's going to hop off the horse. Thankfully, the horse will kill these night spawns, but this part is kind of sketchy. Yeah, who doesn't love that glitch explosion? Maybe whoever programmed it? That'd probably be about it. Ooh, speaking of bad rooms, how about double envy? Yeah, that's an instant bomb out for Vendryth. And again, here's one of the nice things about that remote detonator. It actually speeds up your time bombing out a room, so you don't have to worry about taking so much damage from the other enemies in there. Ooh, Wolv down to half a heart, and you can see with that... Ooh, he switched out his pill on accident. Gotta grab the other one. He'll worry about killing off this enemy first, though. But again, he saw the Polaroid in act. He had 5 seconds of invincibility there. If you get down to half a red heart by taking damage, again, you can see that full health pill's probably going to be popped now. Indeed it is. That was a bad trip pill for Wolv. Turned into a full health pill because pills don't kill you, as Isaac. And again, I can tell you, he's headed straight to his boss fight. Then gonna still try here, bombing on through after he gets through yet another dead end. Yeah, anybody that makes the playoffs is guaranteed in next year if they want in. And that's 12 spots right there, so there's at least 20 spots open. That's assuming that everybody that makes the playoffs wants back. Wow, these rooms that Wolv has gotten. He has no bombs to get through this, so he has to go ahead and kill everything. Has Wolv got any damage up? I don't believe so. That should be base damage on his side. So again, that's a pretty huge advantage for Vendryth again, seeing as he has those 2 followers, and very useful ones at that. Let alone his sacrificial dagger. And that's at least, what, almost, a little under 5 times the damage that Wolv's tears do right there on the sack dagger. And speaking of that boss fight, Ven might have been at a disadvantage here, but I'd say now definite advantage to Vendryth's side, as he's going to go ahead and take that, take everything out here with those bombs, lay a little bit of poison on Mom's heart, and he is going to go ahead and work on through this. Wolv has got this room, 1, 2, 3 more to clear, and hopefully that's his boss fight on the left. So huge time advantage for Vendryth now. And again, this proves the point that even after a death, you guys can't count anybody out, because look at how close this one is. And again, if only Wolv could come across some bombs here, he would just bomb right through these rooms and try and get himself over to Mom's heart. But no bombs showing up. And again, the oh-so-fun part of that remote detonator, that's just going to hang out in Vendryth's room. Speaking of that bomb, come on, after this room, we're going to see. I really hope to God that that is Mom's heart up at the end of this next room here. We'll find out for Wolv momentarily, though. Ooh, no spawn. Oh, God almighty, it's not. Are you serious? Oh, wow. That floor layout, dude. That floor layout is evil right there. That, I swear that should have been Mom's heart, but that may well sum this one up, as Vend is at, well, he's at half health himself, so don't write anybody out yet, guys. But nonetheless, at half health on Mom's heart. So really close to the point where she'll stay out the rest of the time. And again, you notice the severe damage differential. Even just with Pinky Eye, there's a nice damage up on Vendryth's side compared to Wolv. Yeah, it's going to wind up being bottom right, most likely. I'm with the agreement on that one, which of course is the most rooms away. So Wolv might check top left here. Or top left, geez. Might check top right first, because that is less rooms for him to clear. And wow, no keys either. And again, down to just the 1 heart. Everything down here in the womb hits you for a full heart of damage. Aurelia Liz is going to stay out with the knights on screen? Oh god, that is brutal timing on this. Ooh, and speaking of brutal, Wolv down again, so he's back to the start here. So he'll start this new one. Yeah, maybe not with the attack flight. He was thinking about it at least. But Ven down to just the last little bit of damage. Oh, Wolv may have wanted to hold that one for a second or two as Ven just finishes off Mom's heart there. So Wolv going to wind up resetting again momentarily. If I could find my mouse, I would update my score. There we go. Jeez. So Wolv going to wind up resetting. So will Ven. But he has got himself a 1-0 lead coming back from that death and a slight time deficit there. But again, that compass slightly OP. Even in Curse of Darkness levels, Ven still found himself his way to his boss fight first. So great comeback, sir. A 1-0 lead for Vendryth. And again, that'll bring us to round number 2 momentarily here. Wolv's already resetting. Ven's going to do the same thing. Ven's going to look for a 2-0 victory. Wolv's going to look for to tie this up, force a really, really important Game 3. So Wolv really needs some back-to-back wins here. Otherwise, this is going to get interesting in the NFC. We'll explain all that in about 2 minutes. Going to meet both of our racers, tell them both great race right there. Hang tight for about 2 minutes. We'll be right back on the other side of these ads, and we'll have round number 2 for you. Alright, we're back and we're ready for round number 2 here, so let me flip this on back over, and we got Vendryth leading 1-0 right now over Wolv21. And again, Ven gonna look to close this out 2-0, get his 10th victory of the season. And again, try to start securing a little bit higher seed in the playoffs on the AFC side. Wolv, on the other hand, needs back-to-back wins here, and he's looking for his 9th win of the season himself. And again, looking to not make it so clustered at the very bottom end of the NFC playoffs. So we're going to have a real interesting one on our hands here, should that be the case. But we're going to have round number 2 start up. These guys will do their own call. Let me get you a link into both of their channels. Right there, catguard.net. That'll get you into both Wolv and Vendryth's channels. And again, good luck to you guys both, as they're off and running. So good luck, guys. We got X-ray vision for Wolv. That's a great starting item. Vendryth had those Halo last time, and he's not going to run with it again. But again, Wolv with that, you can see what it's doing already. Those X-ray vision glasses can allow you to see in and get entrance free of charge onto all sides of your secret and super secret rooms. So no more bombs needed, no more questioning where they're at. You just walk right on in. D20, an interesting starting item, but not in one of the speed runs here, so we're going to reset that on Vendryth's side yet again. That would have rerolled, let's say, like the 4 coins that were in the room that Vendryth was just in. You could walk in with that D20, reroll those, they might turn into bombs, other coins maybe, keys, cards, trinkets, so on and so forth. D6 rerolls the pedestal items, but D20 rerolls the stuff that's literally sitting on the ground. It could also reroll chests, empty or not, doesn't matter. Ugh, my reflection. How about another reset on Vendryth's side? So not having any luck here yet. There's that super secret and Wolv's boss fight on the left. And Justice Card's going to be one of every type of item, so a key, a coin, a heart, and a bomb. Isaac's head, why not? That'll be a follower with base damage tiers behind him. And again, not too bad for being a trinket, honestly. World card, again, would be a full map and compass reveal. So Wolv's going to hang out of that for a way later time. These are way too short of floors to use those on. Hey, finally something good on Vendryth's side. We got the Miter. 50% chance now that any red heart spawn will actually be a full blue heart spawn instead, and much easier to pick up. So that's a really, really good starting item if you want some health on your side. And Jesus Juice, again, that is slightly mismarked. That is range and slight bit of damage up, not tears up. Ooh, Dad's Key. Now we're getting interesting on Wolv's side. That's actually a kind of useful item. Every room they use that in, like, let's say, well, okay, this one doesn't really count so much for Wolv, but let's say they use it here in this Larry Jr. fight right now. It's going to open up any door that would open up after combat, which, if there's a Devil Dealer God room in these boss fights, will open up immediately for you. Now, again, we've seen, I believe it was Wolv that did it this way too. If you get an XL floor, that Dad's Key recharges every 2 rooms that you clear. So, let's say you don't like the room you're in, just pop the doors open, walk right on out the other side, clear out 2 more rooms, you can do it again. Interestingly enough, like I said, XL floors in the race situation, let's say you walk into a Depths 1, or the Depths 1 boss fight in an XL floor. Let's say that that's Mask of Infamy. Let's also say you have a full charge on your Dad's Key. Guess who you're not fighting? Yeah, you're just going to walk right into Mom's Foot at that point, on into your second boss, and like, yeah, you know what? No, mask later, and just walk right on past him. Ooh, although my little unicorn might be a better way. This is a tough call for Wolv. He's going to keep Dad's Key with him, it looks like, to get out of rooms he doesn't want to be in. And again, building up a nice little advantage as he gets all that access through his secret and super secret rooms. Alright, in that store, we got the Book of Revelations on Wolv's side. Again, questionable. Could have bought that and got himself at least 1 soul heart out of it. He's going to keep Dad's Key instead. Because there is well, not a chance. It's basically forced. If he were to use that Book of Revelations, either here on Caves 1 or on Caves 2, he had guaranteed himself a horseman fight. So he was almost guaranteed at that point that it was going to wind up being... And again, there's a couple horsemen it could be, but it was most likely going to be a Pestilence fight forced for him. Now, if you're wondering, why didn't he use Dad's Key to open up that item room? That wouldn't have automatically opened up after battle. You have to use a legitimate key on that door. So Dad's Key doesn't work that way, only against, like, the other doors here. So again, in Vendryth's room, for example, just like you see, as soon as battle ended, it opened up the 2 doors on the side. It'll do the same thing. It'll open up the one on the right and the one at the bottom as soon as battle ends. That's Dad's Key's usage. And we got our boss fight over on Wolv's side, so he's getting close to finishing off his Caves 1. Again, building up a nice little lead on Vendryth, who's still looking for a second item room here. There we see our first Eternal Heart of the night. And again, if Wolv is to take that onto the next floor with him, or somehow finds the second one in this room, which could happen. But if he holds onto that and gets it to the next floor, that will be his 4th red heart container. Question is, if he takes any damage, that's going to be the first thing to disappear. Yep, and that's the worry. Will you take damage or not? So let's see, Mom's Coin first, bunches of pills. Let's see, World Card's still much more useful. Tear rate down, yeah, that's about the time where you leave that behind. Oh, no problem, Will, sir. Least I can do. By the way, I totally didn't get to see what Vendryth got to reroll. I didn't see what the banned item was. I just know he rerolled into Mom's Bra. So if anyone wants to go ahead and show me the banned item emote, let me know. On that note, speaking of emotes, let's also say the famine, if you would. Toothpicks, thank you, thank you. Let's see those no TVs. Oh, it wasn't? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there's all those haze. So again, 1 cube of meat coming out for both of these guys. As like I said, we still have our Pestilence fight over on the left side. Wasn't guaranteed for Wolv because he hadn't used the Book of Revelations, but you still have a pretty good chance. So one way or the other, he's still got it here. Again, going to move on down to his depths as he's flying on through at this point. See, Bob's Rotten Head one-time thrown Poison Bomb. Not Dad's Key, so Dad's Key moving on with Wolv. And let's see what's on all of our sides. Free entry into a store for the crappiest item in this game, other than the poop. At least the poop can give you stuff, though. The notched pickaxe was in Wolv's store. That would have been a 1-block break in a room. That's it. That thing is not that handy, and no, it does not do contact damage either. What'd I say? Yeah, no, it's Pestilence on the left. Famine was on the right, though. Ooh, Wolv down. Yeah, that was a pretty nasty room. Again, like, when you get stuck in these, especially the depths, I'm so not a fan of the depths floors. That's where I would die every time in these runs, trying to speed through. Guaranteed death in the depths for me. So Wolv down again and back to the beginning. Again, Vendryth, as you noticed, is on a ridiculous-looking XL floor at the moment. That is both of his case floors combined together into one, so he's working on at least a 2-floor advantage. He's building that up as we speak, though. Yep, Dead Sea Scrolls are banned because of the shovel effect and the Bible effect. Alright, puberty pills, by the way, do nothing but that cosmetic change on Wolv. So you notice he's got that, like, weird, funky-looking hair coming out. There's that new item room for him, finally. And not too terrible. Guardian Angel going to be a double speed orbital, so still blocking shots, still doing that same 7 damage to anything it touches. Yep, Shovel and Bible on the, it used to also be D6, believe it or not, on the Dead Sea Scrolls, but I forget what version it was, took that completely out of the game, so it doesn't D6 anymore, which reminds me I really need to update the bot command on that, which we'll do at some point, but oops. Either way, so that doesn't exist anymore, but it does have 2 banned item usages on it. So let's see, Ven picking up the Celtic Cross in the first of his 2 item rooms here. And again, I'll find another one at some point. I'll also find 2 back-to-back boss fights, so we'll see what he chooses to do about this. Celtic Cross, 33% chance that he will not, or excuse me, that when he takes damage, that he will get a 5-second damage shield around him where he'll be invincible. What's up, Dixie? How you doing? Yeah, at least with the I Found pills, you get the duh sound, which is so much better. How about that? 2 soul hearts for the cost of 2 pennies. Sure. We'll take that on Ven's side. A little bit of health for him. There's that item room and boss fight to finish off the basement for Wolv. He's also got a curse room to consider, actually. That's a hell of a combo right there. And curse room it is. And why not? Came out of 1 full heart ahead there. Again, without the key for the item room, not much he can do. Eve's Birdfoot, by the way, the trinket on Wolv's side. If he gets hit, chance that Eve's dead bird is going to spawn and try to do damage to anything in the room, if it's smart enough to go after him. It's pretty dumb. And Venda's got the Ace of Spades, more chance of card spawns for him. What's up, Raven Bob? How you doing? The age-old question, does having Guardian Angel or anything like that give you more chance at God rooms and God items? I think there's a faith stat involved with them. A lot of people say that it doesn't even exist, though, so I don't really know, honestly. The one thing I do know is when it says faith up with the rosary, that you're most likely going to wind up seeing the Bible in your next door. Other than that, I would say yes, because I tend to see a lot of God rooms on the same run at that point. Like, it doesn't turn, like, you know, God room and then, like, all devil deals. It's mostly just God rooms if one starts that way. So I would say yes, but I can't make that guarantee because I don't see that stat, so... Alright, on into that library. Wow, can't believe he isn't going to take the 12 seconds of invincibility. Mom's Bra won out over Book of Shadows, believe it or not, for Vendryth. So the pausing on enemies wins out over 12 seconds of invincibility. He used the Book of Sin one time, gives you one random item. Uh-oh. We saw what happened last time. The carry's on. It's the poop for Wolv. He'll leave that behind and go right on down to his cave. So he'll be on, basically, technically speaking, the same floor that Vendryth is. Also, now really he is because he's on a Curse of the Labyrinth, which is another XL floor, so side-by-side caves XLs. And again, Wolv did know where that first item room is, still no key for it, though. Ah, so there's your answer. Book of Shadows, it will be, actually. Now watch this pay off with, like, a heart machine or something for Vendryth. There's a lot of good ways that I don't want to say you can abuse the Book of Shadows or anything that gives you invincibility, but if you think about it, let's say you find a demon judgy. He's going to take half hearts every time you use him. What if you're invincible? You can't do that. Yeah, you can wind up getting some good stuff free of charge, like blood bags, anything out of devil deals from those demon judgies, for example, all sorts of cool stuff. So you can really, again, I don't want to say abuse it, but you're basically abusing the Book of Shadows at that point. It's a lot of fun to do. So that was for me, it wouldn't have been that tough of a choice. Not having the knife, I would have gone with Book of Shadows. The effect on it's longer anyway, so it pays off a little bit more for me. By the way, Devil card for Vendryth, time and a half damage multiplier, just like the Book of BOILeR, and you'll actually see that thrown in the air when he uses it. Yeah, that black bean. Oh boy. So Wolv with that black bean, by the way. As it said, panic farts. That's basically what happens. If you get touched by if you get hit by an enemy, it doesn't matter if you're touched by them or not. If you even get hit by their shots, you're going to put out a panic fart, which is going to do a damage over time AoE poison in the area around you. So hopefully, if they make contact with you, or if you do it on purpose, you can apply poison to enemies. Again, not that great, but it's extra damage if you get hit. Yeah, that 3x3 block of rooms on Ven's side, let alone like the, what is it, 5 up and down side by side here? Like, this is a really strange floor layout. There is that second item room. Wow. If he would have had his compass, I don't think he would have assumed that they were that far apart, honestly. He probably would have thought that they were side by side. That is a weird layout. And I would ask for a judgy please, but that was a little too quick and nothing happened there. Alright, there's the missing page acting on Wolv's side. I totally forgot to mention this too. As you saw, Necronomicon fired off. Wolv got hit, so also fired off his black bean for that green cloud around him for that poison gas, technically. Missing page, like I said, Necronomicon use, about 40 damage to everything in the room. Random chance of when you get hit that fires, though. Then just picked up Daddy Longlegs. You see that shadow moving around, dropping down a, well, that's actually supposed to be a spider leg, but dropping that down to do damage to anything that it hits. Then just got screwed there. Then got hardcore screwed out of getting those bombs. Anyways, onto his 2 back-to-back boss fights. First one's going to be Chad. That'll give him little Chad every couple of rooms. I believe it's 4 that he clears out. That'll spawn half a red heart for him. It's either 4 or 6. Somebody will know exactly. It's one of the 2. Daddy Long, and again, let me point this out too. Notice that that's actually Triachnid's leg when you're in the boss fight here. That's pretty normal. It doesn't do any extra damage or anything. It's basically just a, you know, the graphical thing that since you're in a boss fight, that becomes Arachnid. I have no idea why. Or Triachnid, I'm sorry. Arachnid. Yeah, well, you get the idea. Alright, there's that second item room on Wolv's side. And again, in a bit of a dead end, though he knows exactly where he's headed now. There's a little chat for Vendryth, and on into a Gertie fight here to finish off the caves. So Strength card's going to give him plus to all of his stats, so that's damage, fire rate, range, speed, and health, believe it or not. So that 1 extra health container is because of his Strength card. No, Little Chad sadly does not coincide with the miter whatsoever, so you won't wind up getting soul hearts out of him no matter what. Always going to be red hearts out of Little Chad. Nothing will change that, sadly. Not Mom's Pearl, not a combination of that in the miter, nothing. Always going to be the red hearts there. But again, at the end of rooms, you may see both Little Chad spit out a red heart. You may still see a blue heart spawn just because you have the miter. It may just be that random chance that that red heart that was going to spawn in the room winds up actually giving you a blue heart instead. So you may see both, and it may confuse you. Anyways, a little bit of health up there for Vend. He's going to head back, and I believe he wants these bombs, which he could technically get into. What else was there? I kind of forgot what else was on his floor. Oh yeah, the card, duh. Duh. I thought that was another trinket for some stupid reason. So Vend will be on down to the depths here. And again, Wolv just looking for these back-to-back boss fights you just saw Vend go through. Irma Gertie. Let's see. Oh, God. Let's see. Say use Book of BOILeR. You got the habit. You get hit. Oh, okay. I know where this one's going. Use the book again in the same room. Does your damage keep going up, or does it keep capped after one use? That's a really good question there by Frost. Basically, believe it or not, and as sad as this is, Book of BOILeR does not stack with itself. So you just get that initial time and a half damage, and that's it. It doesn't keep going up from there. It doesn't matter how many times you use it. It does not add to your damage. The one that does, though, is, I can't think of the name now, the Razor Blade. Took me a second. Razor Blade will continue to keep on stacking your damage. Book of BOILeR does not. Wait, did I say that ass backwards? Oh, no, I said that right. Okay, cool. Had to make sure I didn't say that backwards. I have moments where I screw things up like that, so that's a really good question, though. Nail's the same way, from what I can tell. It does not, or it caps your damage after the one use. Now, you can get the extra soul heart out of it, so you might as well keep using it. At that point, abuse that thing, because you're invincible at that point, basically. But no, the damage, from what I can tell, caps the first one. And again, speaking of first ones, we got Wolv taking out his first of the two boss fights. Again, it's Chad, so he'll wind up with Little Chad himself for those heart spawns. Oh, it's that room. That room's ended 2 runs this year in BOILeR because our racers didn't have bombs and it spawned them on the wrong side. And we got Fistula for our second boss fight, so pretty easy one. This one's going to split up really quick here, and split up a few more times. Vendryth, on the other hand, making his way immediately on over to his boss fight here in Depths 1, and is fighting Mr. Cool once again, so let's see those of you guys who are subscribed to Cobalt. Yeah, Book of BOILeR will stack with Blood of the Martyr. That is correct. You are correct, I hope that room's out of Rebirth, dude. You and me both. I hate that room so much unless I can fly. Ooh, and getting another boss fight here on, well, mini-boss in this case on Vendryth's side as he goes into his Devil deal. That's Krampus. Guaranteed lump of coal at the end of this, so a little bit of damage increase because based off of basically your tier's time on screen. Doesn't matter where they move to, but the amount of time on screen is going to give them, they're going to grow in size and damage output. So, little bit ineffective if you're close by, but still a little bit of damage up for you. Also, nice health uphill there for Vendryth, and he'll take his Devil card with him. Ooh, surprised he didn't actually heal there. But moving on down to his Depths 2. Again, it's a Necropolis. The expansion version of the floor does not show the number there. He is 1 full floor ahead of Wolv right now. Time to get them belly rubs. So again, the expansion version of the floor for Vendryth here. Wolv has got a regular Depths 1, so you'll see some of the enemy differential. Vendryth, for example, just killed off a bunch of those buttlickers. You got these store keeps, whatever you want to refer to them as. Those splitting spiders, those aren't going to show up as often, if at all, on Wolv's side. Alright, well, not quite enough money to worry about going into that store. He's going to bypass it and head back on over to the other side here. Ooh, bombs are key on Vendryth's side, so that switched out the amount of bombs and keys he had. He's now pretty much even on both of them as he just picked up 3 more bombs in that room. So nice little way to extend your key total, if not at this point. So he'll use up some of those newfound bombs that he's got, and he's also found his mom's foot fight. So decision time for Vendryth. Is he happy enough with his build, or does he want to go find that item room yet? I think he might go fight Mom's foot. Nope, he is going to go find his item room. Question answered. What's up, Clearly? How you doing? Yeah, what's up, Poke? Good to see you guys. And Jin, good to see you as well. How y'all doing tonight? What's up, Death by Stereo? Good to see you. Hey, Commando, good to see you guys. Alright, so where is this item room going to be for, well, hell, for that matter, where's this item room and boss fight going to be on Wolv's side? You see that one time Mr. Mega Bomb on his space used for Wolv, he's just going to use that more often than his actual expendable bombs in case he happens to replace it here, as Wolv and Vendryth both actually find their item rooms here. And again, that double speed orbital, also with Guardian Angel, I should say, for Vendryth, is also going to take the speeded Meat Boy, the Meat Cube orbital that he has, and double that up. Speaking of replacing your one bomb, how about 5 to 6 random bombs throughout the room with the Anarchist Cookbook now on Wolv's side? So a little bit more effective, possibly. A little bit more random as well, but possibly more effective. Yeah, what's up, Eyes? What's up, Pierce? What's up, Coleslaw? I don't think I said what's up to you yet. What's up, Jim? Good to see you guys. I'm doing great tonight, thank you. Hopefully you guys are doing the same. What's up, Billy Jack? How you doing? Something about the end of your name, like Billy Jack Foo. I don't know, I just love saying your name for some reason. How you doing tonight? Tired. Welcome to the club. Good to see you, though. Alright, so Ven finishing off his mom's foot fight. By the way, totally forgot to mention, use homing shots in that room he was in. So you notice sometimes you might have seen the purple effect on it. It was mostly called out, but beside the point. Holding on to a sun card now, which is going to give him a full map, full compass reveal, full red heart heal, and damage everything in the room pretty considerably. First things first, though, he has to worry about Super Wrath now. He can't even bomb out of this room, as that is a legitimate mini boss fight. You can tell by Vendryth's mini-map. Notice he's got that little skull on there. Yeah, I don't want to say same thing. It looks a little bit different than the one on the health bar, so moot point. But because of that little skull on there, Vend actually cannot bomb out of this room. Now, if there were a store on these womb floors, which there are not, mind you, but if there were, Vendryth actually could go in there and know full well that it was going to be a store. This will top a store, however. Wow, is this a combination? Wow, he's only going to take Brimstone. I may have thought about both, but that would have put him really low on health. Vendryth going to buy Brimstone, though. Down to 4 red hearts on his side, but wait till you see this shot if you haven't seen what Brimstone can do for you yet. And again, Wolv fighting against Gish, going to wind up with little Gish at the end of this, and he's almost done with his Depths 1. Applying a little bit of poison to him there. Excuse me. What's up, JRW? How you doing? What's up, Folgers? Good to see you guys. So hopefully Ven doesn't get hosed over. We've seen this before where you're holding onto a Sun card or a World card or something like that, like Wolv was. And then you wind up with a Curse of Darkness on that last floor when you're planning to use it. So hopefully the game doesn't kick Ven square in the teeth like it has been doing to everybody this week. I may have considered that here on the Utero 1. And again, once these Blue Gertie Juniors get taken out, guaranteed Soul Heart spawn. And like you see, also, there's a little chat popping out that half red heart still. God, I hate these rooms when you have Brimstone unless everything happens to line up. There you go. Vend actually holding his charge until such time as, wow, that champion one screwed him over. But I was going to say until such time as he gets everything in line, which is a really good use of Brimstone. You don't just want to, like, always be firing it. Yes, that can help you. But when you line everything up, you can make a room go a heck of a lot quicker. And Daddy Longlegs putting in some serious work there. That was like back-to-back stomps. About a 2 of hearts. That would have doubled up the amount of, let's say Ven got down to 2 red hearts left in his containers. He could use that 2 of hearts, double that up, and fill up to 4 hearts on his side. And again, I believe there is a limit to that at like 3 or 4 hearts on that card, and I forget exactly how many it is. Why is it trying to give Wolv this crappy Minecraft pickaxe? That notched axe is just like taunting Wolv for playing Minecraft of late. See? See? See what happens? Kidding, obviously. But still, really terrible item there. You can see why Wolv passed on it. All that would do is, let's say that Wolv wanted to get rid of one of those bricks in the center of the room. You could hit notch pickaxe, walk over that brick, you're done. So if it's an item rock, that's awesome. You could break that, get yourself a couple items out of that possibly. That's great. But it's really useless other than that. You could still do the same thing with a bomb, honestly. And if you have enough, like Wolv has got 9 right now, obviously not worth the cost. Ooh, nice. Congrats, Canadian. That's an awesome feeling. Getting through the chest that first time. Ah, does that feel good. Alright, I actually like Vendryth's choice of using the Book of Shadows in here. So 12 seconds of invincibility. He's going to make sure that Gertie Jr. does nothing to mess with him. There's that other soul heart again from Blue Gertie Jr. Again, Wolv fighting against Red Mom's foot. Notice her stomping down every now and then. That eyeball opens up, shoots a triple shot for you. The other method is you could just stand down by the door, and I'm surprised nobody's been doing that much yet tonight. Again, with, obviously, Ven did the one time when he had his sacrificial dagger. But, surprised nobody's hanging down there, especially with the orbitals. There's that strength card, going to give Wolv +1 to every stat, including an extra health, just to be on the safe side. And yes, that red heart will stay. The container at the end will disappear after this room. Hey, what's up, Skyhawk? What's up, Kirkala? How you two doing? Excuse me again, sorry. Alright, Cuban meat, that'll add on to the one that Vendryth already has, which again is going to give the, second one built on there. We got Meat Boy's head floating around, which is now going to add a little bit of extra firepower. As Vendryth is charging his brimstone, Meat Boy's going to shoot for him. And we're just about done here in Mom's foot. Going to make sure he kills the foot and not one of the eyeballs, because he can't risk taking that damage at this point. And there we go. Speaking of that, a little bit of health up, slight bit of damage increase there for Wolv. And going to get even more health up as he gets 1/2 an Eternal Heart out of there. Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses and I can't really see very well at the moment, so bear with me if I miss something. But Wolv moving on down, that looks like, yes, that is regular 1/1. Here's that Anarchist Cookbook, like I said, random bomb spawns, but that worked out beautifully again. Wolv's somewhat of a pro with that Anarchist Cookbook, apparently. Does that scare anyone? Alright, there's that Mom's Heart fight. So Vendryth going to move on in, looking for a 2-0 victory here. And again, this could make some serious haywire stuff go on in the NFC. We'll explain after, should that be the case. But Ven looking for his 10th victory of the season right here. Again, all you have to do is take out Mom's Heart in the regular season. It is a best 2 out of 3, though. And again, Ven with that 1-0 lead right now. So Wolv looking to make some serious time here if he can. Yep, we got one more game after this tonight. Let me give you a link here. If I can find my mouse. Where did my mouse go? Here we are. Oops. Learn to spell, Crumps. There we go. If you look on the front page, scroll down just a little bit. We got one more race coming up tonight to finish off week 14. Almost called it 13. You'd think I'd know this by now. Ooh, Wolv bombing out of a dead-end room here, and again, that might well do it, as Ven has got 12 seconds of invincibility. He's letting his orbitals do some work for him. That last little shot by Mom ain't going to be enough, as he was still invincible there. And again, there you can see Wolv